Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. One simple invitation, one night, and suddenly everything between three people explodes. RJ makes a bold move by inviting Electra to spend the night, but what seems like confidence quickly turns into emotional chaos. Will is blindsided, Electra is torn between two worlds, and what follows is a storm of jealousy, truth, and long overdue confrontation that changes all three of them forever. Alright, so let's really get into this. Because on the surface it sounds simple, right? A guy invites a girl to stay over. That's it, but no, not here, not with these people. Because the moment RJ makes the move, everything starts unraveling. This tension, it didn't just appear out of nowhere. It had been building quietly for a while. The kind of tension where people smile, act normal, keep things polite, but underneath, there's something boiling, just waiting for the right moment to explode. And that moment comes when RJ invites Electra to spend the night. Now, for RJ, this isn't just casual, this is bold, this is risky, this is him stepping into a version of himself that people don't usually see. He's always been kind of in the background, not really taken seriously in the Forrester circle, almost overlooked, and now he's making a statement. He's saying, I'm here, I matter, I can take what I want. But here's where things get messy. Will finds out, and the reaction, it's not just surprise, it hits him like a punch to the chest. Because Electra isn't just some random person to him. She's complicated. She's someone he admires, someone he's had feelings for, feelings he never fully expressed, the kind of emotions you keep buried because you are not sure what to do with them. So when he hears that RJ invited her to stay the night, it's not just about the action, it's about what it means. It suggests a level of closeness, confidence, even boldness that Will feels like he's never had the courage to show. And that hurts more than anything. Now his mind is racing, he can't stop thinking. Why would RJ do this? Was it impulsive? Or has something been developing between RJ and Electra that he completely missed? And the worst question of all, did Electra hesitate? Or did she just say yes? That question eats at him. And just like that, one moment turns into a full emotional breakdown, waiting to happen. Now let's talk about RJ for a second. On the outside, he seems completely unfazed, calm, confident, like he knew exactly what he was doing. But underneath that, there's insecurity, there's something to prove. This wasn't just a random decision. It was calculated, a risk he chose to take. He wanted control, he wanted to step out of the shadows. But what he didn't fully consider was the fallout. Now, right in the middle of all of this is Electra. And honestly, she might be most complicated part of this entire situation. Because she knows how Will feels, even if he's never fully said it out loud. And she's not blind to what RJ's invitation means either. So her decision to accept, or even consider accepting, is not simple. Part of her is drawn to RJ. His confidence, his energy, that boldness, it's exciting. It pulls her in. But then there's Will. That quiet connection, that steady presence, the kind of bond that doesn't shout, but still matters deeply. And now she's stuck between those two worlds. That internal conflict, that's what makes her so interesting. Because she's not just reacting, she's choosing, even if she's not fully sure what she wants yet. Now that one night becomes a turning point for all three of them. RJ is preparing, setting the mood, thinking about every little detail, and you can tell this isn't just about spending time together. This is a statement. This is him trying to define something. But as time passes, it becomes clear actions like this don't stay contained. They ripple outward. And Will, he can't stay away. Whether he confronts RJ directly or just lunges on the edges, emotionally he's right there, pulled into something he never wanted to face. He's stuck between speaking up and staying silent. And that internal battle, it's intense, it's relatable, because we have all been there at some point, wanting to say something, but holding back. Meanwhile, people around them start noticing. Friends, family, even outsiders, they all have opinions. Some people admire RJ's boldness, others think he's being reckless. Some sympathize with Will, while others think he waited too long and has no right to be upset now. And just like that, something private becomes public. Now, after that night, that's when the real drama begins. Because the truth starts coming out. Relationships shift. People are forced to face things they have been avoiding. Will can't hide anymore. He has to confront how he feels. RJ, he has to deal with the consequences of his choices, whether he expected them or not. And Electra, she has to figure out what she actually wants, not what people expect from her. Now, here's something important. Electra didn't fully realize how much this night would affect her either. She accepted RJ's invitation for different reasons: curiosity, attraction, and yes, maybe even to provoke a reaction from Will. But sitting there afterward, in the quiet, she starts questioning herself. Did she miscalculate? Because whatever message she thought she was sending, it turned out to be way more complicated than she expected. Then comes the explosion. Will confronts RJ. And there is no holding back anymore. No politeness, no careful words, just raw emotion, heart, anger, frustration, all coming out at once. Even Will is surprised by how intense it gets. He demands answers. RJ, caught off guard but refusing to back down, defends himself. He makes it clear Electra has the right to make her own choices. No one owns her. And that statement, it hits hard because Will knows it's true. But true doesn't make it hurt any less. Their arguments escalates fast, and suddenly it's not just about Electra anymore. It's about everything. Years of comparison, rivalry, frustration. RJ accuses Will of always playing it safe, never taking risks. Will fires back, calling RJ reckless, saying he chases attention without thinking. Now it's personal. Now it's about identity, about who they are, about who gets seen. And here's the twist: they don't realize Electra overhears part of this, and that changes everything. Because instead of feeling wanted, she feels reduced, like she's some kind of prize they're fighting over. At that realization, it hits her hard. Something inside her shifts. For so long, she's been shaped by other people's expectations. What they want, what they assume, what they project onto her. But in that moment, she sees it clearly. She needs to take control, so later, she confronts both of them. And honestly, this moment is powerful, because neither of them gets what they expect. No anger, no chaos, just clarity. She speaks calmly, but every word hits. She tells them she doesn't need to justify spending time with RJ. That's her choice. But then she turns to Will and calls him out. She acknowledges their connection, but she also points out something brutal. He never fought for it. And then she says the line that changes everything. You don't get to be hard about something you never fought for. And wow, that lands. Because it's true. Painfully true. Will feels it, and RJ is dealing with something else now. He realizes that his bold move didn't give him control. It exposes his own insecurities, his confidence. It wasn't as solid as he thought. Slowly things start to settle, but not neatly. There's no perfect ending here. No sudden resolution, just distance, reflection, growth. Will starts changing. He begins picking up more, taking risks not just in love, but in life. That moment pushed him out of his comfort zone. RJ changes too. He becomes more thoughtful, more aware of the consequences of his actions. And Electra, she becomes stronger, no longer stuck between them. She takes control of her own story. Whether she chooses Will, RJ, or neither, one thing is clear. This time, it will be her decision. This situation isn't really about a sleepover. It's about identity, confidence, and emotional courage. RJ represents bold action, but also impulsiveness. Will represents restraint, but also fear. And Electra stands right in the middle, representing choice and self-awareness. What makes this powerful is that all three of them are forced to confront who they really are, not who they pretend to be, not who others think they were, but their real selves. And that kind of confrontation, it changes people. Honestly, I feel for Will the most here because a lot of people can relate to that feeling. Caring about someone but never saying it, and then watching someone else step in and take that chance. But at the same time, Electra is right. If you don't fight for something, you can't expect it to just wait for you. And RJ, I respect the confidence. But confidence without awareness can turn into chaos real fast. And that's exactly what happened here. So now the question is, what happens next? Does Will finally step up and fight for what he wants? Does RJ learn from this and change? And who will Electra choose? Or will she choose herself instead? I want to hear from you. If you were in this situation, would you take the risk like RJ or play it safe like Will? And do you think Electra made the right call? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you love deep, emotional stories like this, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Because trust me, this drama is far from over.